Hello there guys and welcome, it's Niran here, and today it is time for more F1 2013 career mode with our Road to Recovery series with Williams. And before we start, I'd just like to say thank you all for 400 subscribers. It happened I think 3 days ago. It's been a while. This is the first video I've recorded since that happened, but I just want to thank you all. The support I've been getting recently has been amazing. Likes and comments and stuff, so that is awesome. But before we start, it is time for the qualifying report. In China, Kimi Raikkonen dominated Q1, this time ahead of Felipe Massa and the usual suspects. Williams made it through comfortably as Verne and Gutierrez were eliminated in Q1 again. In Q2, in a rain-affected session, Vettel once again took control, fastest ahead of a strong-looking Kimi Raikkonen. Both Mercedes, McLarens and Ferraris also made it through, while Grosjean struggled to a lowly 16th. In the shootout, pole position would go to Nico Rosberg for his first pole of the season, narrowly ahead of Sebastian Vettel and teammate Lewis Hamilton. After early promise, Raikkonen could only manage 6th ahead of Hulkenberg, Button, Perez and Felipe Massa. So all this means that Nico Rosberg takes pole for the Chinese Grand Prix ahead of Sebastian Vettel, Lewis Hamilton, Fernando Alonso and Mark Webber in 5th in his Red Bull. Kimi Raikkonen will start 6th ahead of Nico Hulkenberg, Jenson Button, Sergio Perez in 9th and the Brazilian Felipe Massa in 10th. So then after that qualifying, we start 14th on the grid, just behind Pastor Maldonado here. De Resta's there in 12th, the 5 lights are off, and we are go here in China. A relatively good start in the first phase compared to our teammate Pastor Maldonado. Going to use Kurzma alongside him on the right hand side. Some dust being kicked up as we go up the inside of Maldonado. Someone there behind, I think that's Romain Grosjean, trying to make a move. We've gone up the inside there of both the Force Indias, and somehow that's an illegal overtake. Well, I suppose I did have wheels on the grass. Apparently it was only De Resta's move that was illegal. We've gone round the outside of Sutil, now up the inside of De Resta, but our run isn't quite good enough to keep up with the Scot, and we start here on the run down into turn 5 possibly. In 12th place, we're going to look up the inside of De Resta whether we made that move stick. Meanwhile, up ahead, Perez alongside Hulkenberg. In fact, we haven't made that move stick because De Resta has again got a much better, run even out of that corner. Probably mainly due to a good line through there. And Sutil trying to get round the outside. What a move that would have been. And he's made it stick. I don't know how, but I've been bashed from behind by Grosjean, which turned me into Sutil. And I've been given the warning for causing a collision. Meanwhile, Grosjean behind, who did hit the back of me. I don't know whether that characteristic then of his has been taken into this game, although it's not really true nowadays. But anyway, yeah, we're right behind De Resta. Sutil's lost out to Grosjean. Grosjean, who started 16th on the grid, has got a relatively good start, having passed the Force India, Daniel Ricciardo, and my teammate Pastor Maldonado, as sparks are kicked up as we go down onto the back straight now. Of course, no DRS because we're not in. We've not. Wait, hang on. Wait, okay. We're still in the first 3 laps. That's what I was trying to say, but we've lunged up the inside of Paul De Resta. And, well, that was a really opportunistic move. And Grosjean there trying to do the same thing. But De Resta again gets a much better line out of there. And so we take it. Oh, my God. I'm so sorry. I'm actually so sorry that that's even happened. We're in 11th, but I cut that corner completely. There's no getting away from it. But we are now in striking distance of Nico Hulkenberg. That looks like another Lotus ahead. It's Kimi Raikkonen he's miles down the order. Well, I don't know what Kimi Raikkonen's done because he started 6th on the grid there as we just give Hulkenberg a slight tap there through turn 2. But Raikkonen, he's lost out to both the McLarens and Felipe Massa, who's clearly up there somewhere as well. But looking at Nico Hulkenberg, we were lunged up there. That was really stupid. And somehow we've made that stick. I don't particularly know how. Hulkenberg there just not being strong enough. I don't know. I mean, we've made the move. Went far too wide out onto the marbles. But yeah. Well, anyway, we're up into 10th now, and that means we are in the point positions now as Kimi Raikkonen and the 2 McLarens ahead start to get away. But there, Nico Hulkenberg in 11th, being closely followed by Paul De Resta now. I don't know. I think Nico Hulkenberg did really have the chance to get back at me, but he just chose not to. He ducked out of the move. And anyway, now, based on our strategy, we are pitting at the end of lap 5. So we've got 3 more laps at the end of this one. So 3 and a bit laps to go on this set of tyres, which of course is the option tyre. This is the softer of the 2 compounds. Now, as I say that, we've got one heck of a run on kit. What what is wrong with Kimi Räikkönen? He was so slow down there. I was using some curves, but not really that much. Well, Kimi Räikkönen, as Paul di Resta goes up the inside of Hülkenberg behind, Räikkönen's so slow down there. That gives us 9th. But back to the strategy, we are going to pit at the end of lap 5 as we now move on to lap 3, which means DRS is enabled, and we'll move from the option to the prime for the last sort of 9 laps of this race. Now, I think there'll be a few people on alternate strategies. Now, I said in the suggestions video that I made, which I'll leave a link in the description to, that there were no alternate strategies. I've been proved wrong already, because I have seen someone on a different tyre compound in this race, so I've been proved wrong on that one. But still, we are 9th here on lap 3, and we're going to try now and hunt down the 2 McLarens who are closely following. I'm guessing that's Mark Webber, and the Ferrari, which again I'm guessing is Felipe Massa. If that is Felipe Massa, he has got one heck of a start. Now moving on to lap 5, nothing really happened between lap 3 and 5, and we are pitting now. We've lost a decent chunk of time on that last lap because the tyres were starting to wear, not horrendously, not as bad as in Malaysia, but we do now make our pit stop as we now move on to lap 6 there. Force India were out, ready for one of their drivers. Will it be a good pit stop? It looks as if it will. It is. It's 3.1 again. It's a completely identical pit stop as some of the Caterhams and Marussia start to go past. And for some reason, I've been left with this camera angle, which is very annoying because I wasn't used to that. There we go. Back onto the normal one. We've lost a bit of time there. That's quite annoying, actually. But now, big slide as well. Goodness me. That is not exactly going to help our brand spanking new set of prime tyres there, getting them all dirty and such like. But if we are going to try and undercut the 2 McLarens ahead, which is slightly unlikely because they were starting to get ahead on that last lap, we are going to have to negotiate Bianchi here and these 2 Caterhams rather quickly, as behind there Chilton, I think, holding up a Toro Rosso or something like that. But yes, we are now down to 19th. We've still got all 22 cars left in this race as well, which is interesting to see. Of course, in Malaysia, we didn't get that. In Australia, I think only 18 people finished the race. But we are now right with the Marussia of Jules Bianchi, who, of course, is having his own battle with the 2 Caterhams, using a tiny bit of curves and down the inside there of the Frenchman, as we now start to go onto the back straight. We could get Charles Pic down the back straight or into the hairpin, and Guido van der Garde, the Dutchman, ahead, possibly on the next lap, but going to use a bit of curves. We should have DRS as well, I'd have thought. Will we? Yes, we do. A bit of DRS curves combo now, down into the hairpin. We are closing, we can have a lunge, we can afford to lunge, and we do, down the inside of Charles Pic, just a tiny bit of contact there with the Dutchman, Guido van der Garde, but that now does move us up into 17th, and we haven't really spent a huge amount of time. We haven't really lost a huge amount of time now getting past these guys. Guido van der Garde doesn't pit, but his teammate Charles Pic does behind. We've got DRS again down this front straight. Of course, there is a double DRS zone in China as we now move up to 13th due to various people pitting. Down into turn 1, not quite as fast as I would have liked, but up the inside there of Guido van der Garde on his aging option tyres. And we move up now into 12th. Now ahead, you can see Daniel Ricciardo. He's in 11th. I don't know whether he's pitted yet. I would suggest he hasn't, because he was nowhere near the battle between me, the Red Bulls, and the such like, as we set a purple sector there through the first sector. But now moving on after people have pitted, the positions have shaken out. We're on lap 11 here, and we've got Hülkenberg right behind. It did turn out that Daniel Ricciardo had not pitted, but a few people ahead. Webber and the such like, who's been beaten now by both the McLarens, have pitted, and they've got ahead of me. I've lost a lot of time now having to defend from Hülkenberg as we just about stay ahead through the hairpin, just edging him out slightly as Fernando Alonso sets the fastest lap of the race, a 1:40.2 through the last corner, clipping the bollard, going wide. Hülkenberg will have DRS again, and I have a decent chunk of curves. I was about to say none, but of course it's recharged at the end of the lap. Hülkenberg going to try and go round the outside, a little bit of contact, even more contact. I accidentally push Hülkenberg out wide because I just braked too late for the corner. I do apologise to Nico Hülkenberg. That was very hard racing, but we do just about keep the position in 9th. Our tyres are starting to wear big time. Going wide there would not have helped because there's now marbles on the tyres, but I suppose on the upside Hülkenberg will have that as well as we go 3.3 seconds quicker, or just 0.3 quicker through that first sector. There you can see the tyre wear starting to develop. The brown colour now of the tyres. It's Hülkenberg breezes past us now, moving on to the next lap. Lap 12, he does get the advantage of DRS, but I do get the slipstream. I've used all my curves even, but we're going to have a look down into the hairpin again. We do, as Alonso sets the fastest lap of the race, again beating his previous best lap by a 10th, and pretty much the same thing happens again, just edging Hülkenberg out wide, out of that last corner, out of the penultimate corner even, as we now go through the last corner. Big slide, the curb's just spitting us out there, and Hülkenberg's going to go up the inside, and this could be curtains here, because Hülkenberg's got the right line for this corner, and he's just, well, he hasn't, he's decided against it, he's ducked out of the move, and we're lucky there. We keep 9th. Just looking at the top there, we have lost someone from this race. We're down to 21. I don't know who that is. It's clearly not someone from ahead of us because we've stayed 9th after the pit stop. So it's clearly someone who was behind anyway. But out of the penultimate corner, you could just about see the Force India of Paul di Resta. I'm fed up of seeing Force Indias this race. I really am. We're on the penultimate lap. We've got 2 laps now to hold on. Back to the same place. On the penultimate lap, we've just got no grip at all. I'm like, oh my, Hülkenberg! Goodness me, playing fair or what? Not playing fair even, goodness me, up to 9th he goes. We've lost someone else as well. I'm later on told that's my teammate Maldonado, so he won't be getting any points. We've used curves, we're up the inside of Hülkenberg. Can we make the same move stick we do? We've only 1 lap to go, basically. That's actually Adrian Sutil, apparently, in that Force India. But we now move on to the last lap of the race here. Hülkenberg all over us again, trying to round the outside move. He does go wide. Can we just about hold on? Still alongside each other, but we do just about cut that one off. And now Sutil and Hülkenberg, the 2 Germans, are going to battle amongst themselves. I don't know who else is there. That could be the other Force India, could it? Or is that a Lotus? I don't even know what that is. But we are just about maintaining 9th here on the last lap of this race. Goodness me, tyre wear again has struck us right where it hurts. That's another Sauber. That's Esteban Gutierrez. He is the guy on the alternate strategy. I didn't want to say it earlier because that would give the game away. But he is currently on the option tyres, which means they may have gone off because he pitted on lap 8. But he will still be on the faster compound no matter what here. Tyre wear. We really need to get the better of tyre wear because I'm really suffering from it. This is a massive slide. Massive overcorrection twice there. As Hülkenberg looked at the inside but decided against it. Sutil trying to go around his outside behind. Gutierrez there just making a hash of things as Lewis Hamilton wins the race. That's another win for Mercedes. Rosberg, of course, was on pole, but he's not going to get the win. That's been given to Hamilton. But now down the back straight, Hülkenberg not as close as he was in previous laps. And I do, in fact, have some curves left as Vettel once again sets fastest lap of the race. His team guy, Rocky, probably told him not to because he always does, but he probably ignored that anyway. We braked here for the final, I keep calling it the final corner, it's not. It's the penultimate corner. Hülkenberg all over us now in the run down to the last corner. A train of 3 guys behind Hülkenberg, Sutil and Gutierrez through there. Not really an overtaking manoeuvre opportunity, but across the line we go and we do finish 9th. Just about. Goodness me, some hard but fair racing there between myself and Hülkenberg. The objective is past there, and I don't know how we're turning through that corner without steering. That's beyond me. But yes, our objective of finishing 12th or above has been passed. But the winner of the race and the full 25 points go to Lewis Hamilton. 2nd, his teammate Rosberg. 3rd, Alonso. 4th, Vettel. 5th, Massa. Great race for him. Then Button, Webber, who did get ahead of Perez again in the end. I finished 9th. Then Hülkenberg getting the final point in 10th, followed by Sutil, Gutierrez, Di Resta, Jean-Eric Vergne ahead of his teammate Ricciardo, then Bottas, Pick, Van der Garde, Bianchi, Chilton, and of course we did lose Maldonado and Romain Grosjean. In the Drivers' Championship, Nico Rosberg leads the way by a massive 13 points now ahead of his teammate Lewis Hamilton. Then it's Vettel, Raikkonen, Massa, Perez, Button, Alonso, Hülkenberg, Gutierrez now up to 10th, Webber in 11th, myself in 12th, just ahead of Pastor Maldonado in 13th. Then it's Grosjean 14th, and the last point scorer, the Force India driver, Adrian Sutil in 15th. Of course, in the Constructors' Championship, Mercedes are going to be absolutely miles ahead with their drivers, 1st and 2nd in the championship. That is going to be, that's going to be madness. They are really dominating the Constructors' Championship. Toro Rosso not having a great time there, particularly. We're doing okay. We're still 7th in the Constructors' Championship. McLaren doing a good job as well. But I'm hoping you've enjoyed this episode. Like and subscribe if you did. Comment about enjoying it. If you enjoyed it that much, Again, I would like to thank you all for helping this channel reach 400 subscribers. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate the supportive comments I've been getting recently, and the tons of likes on this series as well. So I hope you have a good day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye. I tell you what, before now, if I told you that Etihad was a sponsor of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, I don't think you'd believe me. Nonetheless, in other news, we're ready to get underway.